All right, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you all are doing well today. I want to quickly seize this opportunity to say congratulations to everybody that have been following us. I appreciate everything. In case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this is Adejare, and this is live talk show Property Matters here on YouTube. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that have been following us. I really don't take that for granted. I appreciate everything you're doing. Please kindly check my audio to see if it's okay. Check my audio, see if it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Thank you very much. In case you are coming across this video, do well to subscribe, turn on the notification bell. So I'm going to be doing today's live session together with my daughter. She's at home, and I would have said she should come and say hi, but I don't want her to interrupt. So in case you are coming across this video, thank you. Something actually of interest happened. That was, I think, a few days ago in Epe, and after that particular situation, I've been receiving calls. I've been receiving a lot of, scary messages. I noticed that a lot of people were worried, and I understand. All of us are real estate investors, and when situations like this happened, it is, all this kind of thing, calls for serious concern. So I understand. Is it something for real estate investors to be worried? So on today's episode, we're going to talk about Epe Land acquisition by Lagos State, and should real estate investors be worried? And of course, I have some couple of information that I want to share. But before I go further, if you are coming across this video for the first time, do well to subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that when we drop a video, a very important personality like you will definitely be, one of the first person to see it. So the question is, should real estate investors be worried? A lot of people have been worried. I've been receiving calls all day. So let's just quickly talk about that in a jiffy while we attend to that. So on today's episode, let's look at that. So in case you're coming across a video like this, please do also subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I'm supposed to react and give a detailed information about this. Sorry, I'm just coming from site. I'm just coming from the same Epe, and I've not had a lot of things. So should I be worried as a real estate investor? What is going to happen to my property? What is the fate of everybody that have bought Epe? So we're going to be discussing that today, and I'm also going to be reading of some important information. So please endeavor to stay to the end of this video, and I'll also try as much as I can to take as many questions as possible. This is a very serious episode. This is something that the reason why I've decided to come online to explain this is because of the fact that I want everybody to be part of today's broadcast. I want everybody to have their own share, and of course I'll be giving you a detailed explanation on of what actually happened. Then we'll also talk extensively on what we need to do, and of course the way forward. So a lot of people have been asking me that what actually happened in Epe. The new town development is actually in charge of doing a lot of things. So I have some information that I'm going to share, and then the way forward. So the first thing I would say as I continue on this episode, on today's video, is that you don't need to panic. You don't need to panic. It is not something that is worth panicking. And the other thing that I also want to say basically is that you should not also create a lot of unnecessary tension. These are things that can be avoided, and do also. I'm so sorry. I'm mixing word now. I want to share this broadcast because I want today to be more or less like a live show so that everybody can be interacted. In case you missed this, you can also do well to watch it as at the end of today's episode. So let's go into this. So there was a stakeholders meeting in Epe 2 days ago, and the meeting basically talked, about some plans that Lagos State government have for Epe. And of course, this meeting was called the stakeholders meeting. And after the meeting, some officials of the Lagos State Land Bureau and of course the Newtown Development Agency, which is also another body, shared the plan that government have for this region. And immediately after the meeting, a lot of people, my phone has been ringing for a very long time, and I've had to, the reason why I'm actually coming online to explain this is due to the fact that I actually got tired of repeating myself over and over again. After I explained to this person, my phone will ring. I have to explain to another person. So the process of explaining actually got very, very tiring, and I felt it is very important, I make this video, and so that we can understand what is going on, and as a real estate investor will be able to, talk about this. So the plan basically is that the Lagos State government has commenced a construction of what we call the Epe Mix, development scheme and the Lagos City. Now, the Epe Mix development scheme and the Lagos City talks about breaking land in Epe into various schemes. And looking at that, this was actually disclosed by the general manager of the Newtown Development Authority, the person of Olakunle Aboyeji, and this was like an idea and an initiative of the Lagos State government. Now, according to Mr. Aboyeji and other notable officials of Lagos State government who spoke at this event, they disclosed that the purpose of this scheme, is to ensure that they're able to curtail illegal development in the Epe axis. They went further to say that the purpose of this is to create a unified development of the Epe axis. Now, what exactly is this this Epe development scheme? Let us quickly go into that. Now, the purpose of the Epe development scheme is designed basically to create a site and service scheme, and the site and service scheme also include what we call a private scheme. Please, in case you're following this video, do well to, in case you have any questions and there are things that you are not clear of, you are you can drop your questions. So I'm explaining this now. They said this became necessary because of the fact that they want to curtail what government tagged as illegal development of estates in Epe. And what they are doing basically is that they want to divide Epe into schemes. Now, according to Mr. Kamal Oluwoshogu, which was the keynote speaker, he said that it is very important that every stakeholder and every indigene should embrace this scheme, because this is actually aimed at developing this. Now, let's quickly go further about what this thing entails so that we'll be able to look at what exactly is going on. Now, the first thing you need to understand basically is that the Epe Mixed Development Scheme and the labor scheme comprises of 3 phases. So they're going to have it in 3 phases. Now, the first phase, which is something they are starting now, will consist of 8 zones, and for them to achieve the first phase, which will consist of 8 zones, they will take control of 7,781 hectares of land. Now 71 acres of land, and the location of this basically would consist of the K2, Itokin, and the Epe Ijebode axis. They are not going to Ijebode, but they are going to take over some properties between the Epe and Ijebode axis, which is the first scheme. Now, the Labour City scheme, okay, which is also part of that scheme, is the one that is designed, okay, for Ibejuleki. Please follow closely, because we need to quickly understand what is going on. Now, there have been a lot of publications that have been circulating the online industry. A lot of people have been shouting, a lot of people have been talking, a lot of people have been, sharing unconfirmed, information from different sources, and they've been creating unnecessary panic. And I consider this to be very, very unfair, because in situations like this, we have a lot of investors who have, invested in Epe, and I've been receiving calls. Now, one of the calls that I received basically was from a notable friend of mine who also bought property in Epe, and from the way, he spoke, and from the things he shared, it was very obvious that he did not understand what government is trying to achieve, in this axis, and that is why I have deemed it fit to explain what exactly is going on. So 7,781 hectares of land, and the areas that will be affected, let me quickly say it again, okay? The areas that will be affected will be the K2, the Tokin, the Omu, and the boundary between Ijebode and Lagos. The Lagos part of Ijebode will also be affected. So what exactly is going on? It is very important that when we're making videos like this, we make clear explanations so that people can have an accurate understanding of what is going on. Now, according to them, what they are trying to do basically is that they are trying to create uniformity, okay, in development. When I talk about uniformity in development, what government is trying to achieve basically is that they don't want a scenario whereby people will just buy land, fence it, gate it, and leave it. According to the information I just read to you now, they are trying to create a site and service. Now, a site and service is a situation, okay, whereby you can buy into Epe and you can start building. However, there have been a lot of misconceptions. Now, a lot of people have said, what is happening? Does that mean government will take all the whole lands in Epe? What about the master plan? In fact, a lot of people have also, went further to say that from what government is trying to do, okay, they might have to abandon the master plan and create a new master plan. At the meeting, nothing of such was mentioned. However, it is very important that whenever there is a situation like this, okay, it is always important that we don't panic. If you are an Epe investor, I'm also an investor in Epe. I have properties in Epe. And what we just need to do basically is that we need to keep ourselves, okay, informed and follow events as they unfold. So that is it. So they actually said this is going to be a legacy project that will transform the Epe and the Bejuleki. Now, what does this mean? I've been talking all morning. What exactly does this mean? Now, the aim of this is to reduce, okay, what government consider, okay, to be how do I say it now? To be illegal development in the axis. Now, when you're buying properties in Lagos, it is very important that you must understand that there are rules and regulations that govern real estate activities. Now, that simply means is that for areas that have been under committed acquisitions, okay, for areas that have been under committed acquisition, when I talk about committed acquisitions, I'm talking about properties that are not zoned for residential purpose, because what actually dominated the Epe real estate market is that real estate development companies, okay, were acquiring properties in mass, they are fencing and they are gating. Remember I said this Epe mixed development scheme is developed, has 3 phases, and each of those phases, at least the first phase, has 8 zones. That means that for the zones that Lagos State is looking at, that means that Lagos State government is going to divide or segment Epe Land into schemes. Okay, I talked about the Lagos City, the Labour City scheme. That one will be concerning properties in the Ibejuleki axis, while by the Epe mixed development scheme will focus majorly on what? On properties in Epe. Now, what you need to now understand in scenarios like this is that you need to follow closely and understand what is happening. Now, places that government will be taking, as clearly stated, are places that are under acquisitions. Now, what government is saying basically is that, okay, wait, we are going to zone these places under various schemes. So what happened is that whosoever, what investor now needs to do basically is that the moment you find out that the property you have bought, okay, fall into the, that's why I said that this was one of the reasons why I called for patience. This was one of the reasons why I called for calm, and this was the reason why I said it is not always advisable to panic. More importantly, when we have a situation like this, so all you need to do is that you need to calm down and let us see the plan that government wants to execute. Now, this simply means is that government will break some of these estates into scheme, and every property owners will have to approach them and get what we called allocation. Remember I said that it has not been stated according to this scheme that government is taking all the lands. So that was the reason why I said it is very important that you exercise patience. Let us follow how all these events are unfolding so that we can know the necessary steps to take. So for those who are still bought properties that are zoned for residential purpose, please calm down. It has not been said in the meeting that they are taking all the lands. It was not said in the meetings that they are revoking the master plan. What they said is that the first phase of this land acquisition is going to focus on the K2 axis, okay, the Omu axis, the Itokin axis, and of course the Ikotun Ijebu-Ode axis of, I said Ikotun, Ikorodu Ijebu-Ode axis of Epe. Now it might be in phases, okay, but this is where government is concentrating on. Now the question basically is, what about properties, okay, that are zoned for residentials that I have bought? What will be the fate of my investment? And that's why I said we need to calm down, because it was not stated at the meeting that they are revoking the master plan, and it was not stated in the meeting that they are taking all over lands. That was one of the reasons why I said let us calm down and let us see how events will unfold. What we know basically is that government will acquire properties that are committed, that government have not released, that some real estate development companies have bought and have inhabited and they are selling. So Ketu, Omu, Itokin, Ikorodu, Ketu Ikorodu, and Ketu Ijebu axis are the places that the first scheme will be affected. Now, if you have a property that is zoned for residential purpose, you do not need to panic. So that is the first phase. Now, what will not happen basically is that for the places that will be acquired by the government will now request that if you are interested, so instead of buying lands like the usual practice from families or every other neighboring people in the village, what will now be requested, okay, is that you will have to now approach government and buy allocated properties. So that means you are buying directly from government. Now, another thing I also want to mention here is that government have not stated the price for what it will cost investors to buy allocated government allocations land in Epe, and that scheme have just started. So before we could know the areas or the portion or the estate or the properties that will be affected, it will be stated. You see, this is more or less like, it's not an hidden thing, it's an open show where you can understand and see how things are happening in Epe. And like I said, it is not all Epe. Now let me also let you know that places that are already residential are exempted from this scheme. Places that are already residential are already exempted from this scheme. Okay, they are not going to take the land of Epe. No, the places that government will take are the places that are committed, that government have not sold to people. So what is happening is that they want to now take the land, give you government allocation, and you buy from them. So for real estate developers whose estates may be affected, what is now required from them is that they need to be patient, follow the situation closely. Once it is time to approach government for allocation, you are supposed to go to them, okay, and get all the necessary information on how to buy. So for now, the whole thing is still in process. Those places, the Ketu, the Omu, the Itokin, the Ketu Ikorodu, and the Ketu Ijebu axis of Epe, or Ketu Ogun axis of Epe, have not been grouped into allocation yet. So that's why you said we need to calm down. So even if government take over those properties, let me also let you know that real estate is one of the most important revenue generation machine or machinery for government. So what will happen is that it will be open for negotiation. What I know basically is that if government is giving allocation, they can't give allocation for anything less than 1 hectare. That's 15 plots. So though these are still speculations that have not been confirmed, but these are some of the things that we need to know. So that was what transpired in the meeting. So I'm going to be doing a video, okay, a recorded video on this channel. So this is why you have to follow this channel. This is why you have to subscribe to this channel. So I will be dropping a detailed video that will explain what is actually happening and what real estate investors need to do. So for now, this live session is saying, what I'm saying on this live session is that places have not been allocated yet. The process is about to start. Once this is done, people will be adequately notified. And when it's time for you to approach and buy from government, okay, you'll be notified. So the remaining part the remaining days of this year or the first week of January 2024, government will use that period to determine how they want to allocate these 8 schemes and the procedure of buying. So basically, this is one of those things that we need to understand, and that was what transpired in the meeting. So I just decided to come online so that I can explain these things to real estate investor. So in the meeting too, it was also said, okay, that the indigenes, government is not coming to seize land from indigenes, so they are still going to leave some places for agricultural use. But the aim of this allocation thing, the aim of all these schemes, of this economic scheme development, is to ensure, okay, that people don't buy land and they abandon. Okay, that's why that was how, the idea of the site and service came into play. So what is happening basically is that once all these things happen, okay, it will foster development, because the aim of this thing is that government are fully aware, okay, that the international airport is coming towards those axes, and Epe obviously will be the next settlement place. So they don't want a situation whereby there will not be uniformity of development, there will be distorted or scattered development. This is why government is saying, okay, fine, we have seen what is happening in Ikoyi, we have seen what is happening in Victoria Island, see how well these places are well developed. We also want to ensure, okay, that similar situation is being, done and regulated here. So that is what actually happened. So do not panic yet. Let us see how government intends to go ahead with the allocation and how they intend to do what, plan and of course execute what they want to do. All right. So if you have questions, I have just 5 minutes more. If you have questions, you can drop your questions, and in case you miss some of the most important highlights, okay, you can also of course, I'm going to be posting the replay, so at your leisure time you can watch, but I'm going to be doing a detailed video, okay, explaining this. Okay, so in case you missed this, there's really nothing to worry. I'll try to post it maybe by Sunday. I'll be doing that on Sunday. I'll post it on Sunday so that you can follow through and understand this. So that is basically what happened at the meeting. Now, my major concern basically about this is that, would there be equal distribution of the properties that government is about to acquire in Epe, or will it be a case of the highest bidder? That's one of the reasons why I said let us calm down and see how events unfold. I believe very well that Lagos State government is also considerate, and they are fully aware that some of these lands have been acquired by some real estate development company. So let us sit down and watch how this event will unfold. So let's just calm down. Let's see how some of these things. So I have a question. Well, thank you. All right. So this question says, so what will not be the fate of those who bought from families? Okay. Like I said, we need to be patient and see what government wants to do. Now, for some of you who bought from families, I believe very well that you have your well-documented papers that shows that you have bought this. But from what was disclosed in that meeting, the stakeholder meeting that held in Epe, one of the things we discovered basically was due to the fact that land will be sold in hectares, no longer acres. Government will sell it in hectares, so they've not fixed the price yet. The only thing I know basically is that once the price has been fixed, the public will be notified. So that is one of the questions. Okay, so this question says, you said freehold will not be affected. How sure are you? Well, see, the thing basically is that whosoever is drafting this new scheme we'll take into cognizance that there are places that are zoned for freehold. And when I talk about freehold, I'm very, very certain, okay, I'm very, very certain that freehold lands will be exempted. Of course, there are some properties in the K2 axis that are freehold, okay, that are zoned for residential. So I believe that that will be put into consideration, and of course into how do I say this in English now? That will definitely be put into consideration while they are drafting these schemes. So I'm so certain freehold will not be affected, because the aim of this is just to acquire places that are not free and that has been sold. Okay, so this question says, why did developers sold this place when they know they don't have the rights papers? Ah, well, how do I respond to these questions, or what do I say? All I'll just say basically is that this is Nigeria, where things happened, and this is one of the reasons why I mostly say that when you're doing real estate, it is very important you do it through the right source. Okay, you do it through the right source. I believe that the smart and the intelligent developers at the moment right now will start lobbying for their own space of allocation. And I also believe basically is that some developers that want to protect the interest of their brand, okay, will also do the needful to protect. So that obviously is a question I cannot answer, because I'm not a developer, at least yet. But well, things happen in Lagos, and that is why it's Lagos. All right. So the next question says, do you think this has a political undertone? Ha. Well, I'm online, so I really don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell. Uh, Somebody actually messaged me immediately after in one of my live broadcasts, and I think the person actually saw some of my videos where I was talking about the tribalist, whatever, whatever. So I honestly cannot tell, but I don't think it has any political undertone. I just feel that government is trying to put things in order. We are the one calling for real estate regulations, that a lot of developers are doing nonsense and collecting money from people, blah blah blah. So they want to curtail this and ensure that this is the. Okay, the next question says, did you hear about the Lagos State Diaspora Investment Scheme? Yeah, I did. I actually heard about that, but I have not investigated further. But if there's anything, I will let you know. Yes, I did, and I must applaud. It's a wonderful initiative. It is a wonderful initiative. Okay, okay. For that, I would say that once I get a very you know uh, good information about this, I'll certainly let you know. I'll certainly let you know. All right, so that's it. All right, so this is actually what. So I'm going to be doing a video where I'll be explaining some of these things, and I'll also try as much as I can, okay, to talk more. So that is basically what I want us to do. I want us to remain calm. We don't need to panic, and I would do a detailed video explaining everything and what you need to do. Also, I want to quickly say a very big thank you to everybody that stayed to the end of this video. It's going to be brief, okay? I promise to give you well detailed information, what you need to know, and I will see you guys in my next video. That's on Sunday. So just calm down. We're doing another video on Sunday. Once again, thank you for everybody. If I've not responded to your message, I'll do that privately. Bye for now.